Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, a market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market positions for January the 25th, 2012. Now, to get started here, we're going to be looking at the stock market, specifically the Royal Bank of Canada, the RY stock. Now, this one's an interesting one. It looks like the equities have a good chance of recovering here and pushing higher. Looking at the earnings out of Apple, that's really going to probably boost the equities tomorrow, not just the tech stocks, but probably the S&P in general. Now, my opinion is that's going to have a positive effect even on some of the financial stocks. Now, this particular stock is a very, very solid stock. It's somewhat of a blue chip, in my opinion. We're a little bit overbought, but I think that this has plenty of room to extend. Now, our key level here is 51.58, 52.68, and 53.35. When we look at our crossovers here, we want to look at this and break this down. Our short-term crossover is still crossed to the upside. Medium-term crossover is only about 3 or 4 days old, and that goes for the same for the long-term crossover. We've had a retracement and we've moved higher. Now, looking at the Vantage Point predicted high and predicted low, we can see that it's very accurate in predicting the direction of this particular stock. So from here, what we want to do is we want to move into that daily report from Vantage Point, and see what we've got for a predicted high and predicted low. So for tomorrow, we have a neural index is down, which is good. So we want to allow it to move down so we can buy it. The low is 52.90, the high is 53.64. That's our immediate range for tomorrow. Now, for a short-term trade, an intraday trade, this is a very good trade. Now, but there are a few other things we want to look at. We've closed at 53.17, so we're not looking for a very deep pullback here. A very, very shallow pullback, and then for this stock to start accelerating higher. Now, the one thing I do want to point out, if we look at this stock on a year-over-year basis, if the equities are going to recover to some degree, I want to point out that this, where this stock has been over the last several years. Now, we can notice here that not that long ago, basically, this stock had a very strong rally at about this time last year, where it moved from the $50 mark all the way up over $60 per share. This is something I always look at in seasonal patterns, and I believe that this is going to be the same thing is likely to happen here. Very repetitive. The markets can be very repetitive, and I believe this signal to be somewhat repetitive on a seasonal basis. So looking at that, the way I want to play this is, again, we're looking for a very shallow pullback towards that 52.90 area. Short-term traders, of course, are going to be looking at that 53 area, but medium and longer-term traders, $60 or over $60, that is entirely possible with this particular trade. Now, one other thing I want to point out when we're looking at this is what we want to do is we want to look at how the market has reacted to as of late. You can see the short-term crossover is coming down. Now, we can expect a minor pullback here. When we get that, again, we're using that as a buying opportunity. Now, that's our first position for tonight. Now, our second trade, we're going to be looking at the Canada-Japanese yen cross pair in the Forex market. It looks to be what we can see here is a fresh buy signal here coming off this 75.91 area. The key support is identified by Vantage Point, followed by 76.22 and 76.65 with a close of 76.96. Now, we've got our predicted MACD and our predicted TSI has just recently crossed the trigger to the upside. That certainly looks good for longs here. And again, what we want to do is we're looking for a very minor pullback to get into a long trade, being this a very fresh signal. We can see our highs have started at 75.91, or excuse me, our closing prices have started 75.91, and we've progressed all the way up to 76.96. Very good looking trade here. Now, for tomorrow, we're going to be looking for a pullback to this 76.73 level, at which time we're going to use that to get into a long trade. I think we may pull back a little deeper than 76.73, but it's very difficult to say at this particular time. But that's our immediate target area to get into a long trade. Now, looking at 77.35 as our predicted high, our day traders will play this particular range, and a stop here should be below that 18-day predicted moving average from Vantage Point, below that 75.90 area. Now, again, when we come back and look at the chart, we can see recent spikes over the 79 level. Now, the correlation that Canada-Japan has is, of course, to US-Japan, and US-Japan has taken out a very vital resistance area today, which I suggested would happen on this week's Forex Weekly Outlook. So Canada-Japan or US-Japan, it's a very, very similar trade. But I believe we have a better opportunity buying the CAD Japan. So those are the market positions for January the 25th, 2012. And again, my name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com.